welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful week and you're ready for another talk. This week, we are going to continue our trip through Portugal and we visit Alentejo. Actually, the region is divided in two, so it's Alto Alentejo and Baixo Alentejo, which would stand for Upper Alentejo and Lower Alentejo. However, since in terms of food, there is not much difference, and we can only talk about Alentejo as one. So today I will be doing that and just talking about Alentejo. So stick around. Let's talk. So let's then explore Alentejo. Come with me. Alentejo is, as I said, a region, or it is actually two geographic regions of Portugal. There is Alto Alentejo and Baixo Alentejo, standing for Upper Alentejo and Lower Alentejo. Um, it's a beautiful region, um, full of history, full of food, great things to do, um, great wines. In fact, if you are talking about Portuguese wines, I think apart from the Douro region where the famous port wine comes from, the second most famous region or wine region in Portugal, I believe, would be Alentejo because the reds are really phenomenal in this region. And obviously, it's one of the most popular, I believe, both among the Portuguese and among foreigners. So, but today we are not here to talk about obviously the wines. We are here to talk about the food. And today I'm going to break with tradition, and I'm not going to start with the traditional card because in Alentejo, honestly, if I would start with cod, I wouldn't make it justice. One of the most traditional dishes of Alentejo, it's called a Sorda elenchana. And there is a little bit of a confusion because what is called a Sorda in Alentejo, it's actually called something else, or it's not really done in other parts of the country, rather. And what they called a soda in other parts of the country, it's actually what the Alentejo calls migas. So they are both very similar dishes, but the way they cooked is totally different, and the outcome obviously is totally different. So let's start with the Sorda elenchana, so the one from Alentejo, and this is done with bread. It is a broth that is prepared with olive oil, water, and garlic, lots of coriander, um, and then the bread is put on this broth. And if you want it to be more soft, you would close the lid of your pot. And if you want the bread to be still a tiny little bit crisp, a little harder, then you won't close the lid of your pot. And then you can, on top, you can put whatever you want. You can put the traditional cod, or you can put whatever. And it's like a beautiful winter dish, I would say. And it's called a soda in Alentejo. However, in the rest of the country, what they call a sorda, it's actually what in Alentejo it's called migas. And migas is also done with bread, also done with coriander and the garlic, etc., etc. but the way the bread is prepared is different. So for the migas, you put the olive oil and the garlic um, and the herbs in a pot, and the bread is you just shred the bread and you put boiling water on it so the bread comes softer like a paste, and then you wring it and you drain it rather you drain it, and then you put in your pot and you mix it all up, and that's what they call migas. um, Migas alentejo, they also fry uh, um pork ribs, very traditional. They fry the pork ribs, and then um, with olive oil and all that fat that they used for the pork ribs, um, they use then in the migas. So what they do with the olive oil, they put all that fat, so all those juices from frying the pork ribs, and then the bread and all the migas will acquire that nice taste. uh, Everything is involved, and then on top they would put the pork ribs and they serve it like that. So this is migas. In other parts of the country, for example, in Lisbon, I grew up making what they call there a sorda, and actually it's similar to migas, but it's a little bit different because in Lisbon they add egg. So what they do in Lisbon, for example, they put the olive oil in a pan with garlic, salt, pepper, of course, and the coriander, and then they put the bread that has been soaked in boiling water and then obviously drained. They mix it all up, just like the migas in Alentejo. However, they finish it off with one or two beaten eggs, depending on the quantity of bread that you're using, and they involve all that egg, and it becomes it's similar. The look, if you look at migas and you look at what they do in Lisbon and called Sorda, it would be similar in look similar. However, and the recipe that I took from gastronomy.com, which is the site I'm using to do the research for these videos, they don't use egg in Alentejo. Let's go for cod now, and there's bacalhau albardado. So this is also it's a stew with cod, and it's very traditional there. Obviously, lots of herbs because Alentejo is full of herbs, full of delicious flavors. Coriander is really one of the main features on Alentejo cuisine. And then we go for ensopado de borrego. So it's lamb, also done with bread. And what it is you this is prepared a stew with lamb, and in the end, when the stew is done, on the serving dish, you cover the serving dish with slices of bread, and then you pour down all the lamb, all the stew on top, and the stew or the bread will soak all those juices. That's why it's called ensopado, which is English would be soaken. So the bread will soak up all those juices, and it is delicious as well. And I cannot say it's just amazing. I love food from Alentejo. Is one of my favorite regions for sure. And then for the sweet tooth, I know you were waiting. There's the sirica, which is one of the most famous dishes, one of the most famous desserts in Alentejo, and it's from the city of Elvas in the Baixo Alentejo. And it's made with eggs and milk, um, cinnamon stick, sugar, of course, and eggs, and everything is cooked like a custard sort of thing. Then you put on a tray, on a bowl, on a round, flat, round bowl, and it goes into the oven. When it's cooked, you take it out of the oven, you let it cool down, and you cover it with cinnamon, and then you cut it into slices and you serve with plums. It's amazing. It's really nice. And there's another one that is called Bulema Elenchana, which is like a kind of a sweet loaf that is made with olive oil, with brown sugar, with flour, obviously, and then it's all turned into a dough and it's cut. You make some cuts, and then it's like a loaf kind of thing, and it's also very very yummy. And these are the suggestions I thought for today. I hope you have liked them. And that's all for today. I hope you really liked the trip through Alentejo, and you are already booking your next trip. um, but if you're there and if you have any suggestion, if you are from Alentejo, and I made any mistake, I didn't say anything that I should have said, please leave me a comment. I'm always happy to hear from you. Or if you have a suggestion of some dish that I haven't mentioned, please do. Put a like, the algorithm, the YouTube, the whole story. I think we all do the same thing. And subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a talk each week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching. See you next week. Have a good one.